Hi everyone, so hopefully you guys can tell, but this is a Halloween makeup tutorial. It was a requested look by some of my subscribers and they asked if I could do a mermaid inspired Halloween tutorial. Now what I like about this look is it's not just a mermaid. By mixing up the colours and playing around a little bit you can get heaps of different characters. So you could go from this type of look, which is a mermaid, to a fairy kind of fire fairy or a fire nymph or a water nymph or rainforest fairy, whatever you want, even to a fish if you're wanting to go as a fish, or a comic book character. Because you've got almost a pixelated look through there, you could make yourself into a comic book character. It's more about the technique to show you guys how I achieve the scales and just to give you some inspiration for your own Halloween makeup. But yeah, this one, I've just used different blues, a blue wig. You can use any colours that you want. You don't have to be a mermaid, you just call yourself a fairy. But yeah, so if you want to see how I achieve this look, please keep watching. So the first step is to apply a foundation just to get a really even base. So as you can see, I've got quite a bit of redness across the bridge of my nose at the moment. So I'm going to use CoverGirl's True Blend foundation, and this colour is number 405 or Ivory. And then I'm going to add a little bit of an illuminator just to give it a nice pearlescent shimmer all over the face. So only a really little bit into your foundation and apply that all over your face. So the base is coming off a little bit more pale on camera, but that's also because I am quite pale to begin with and it's so shimmery and luminescent that it is almost glowing, which is okay because we're going to be a mermaid anyway. The next step you want to do is to get some fishnet stockings. I've used some old thigh-high fishnet stockings just because it's going to be easier to do the next step, which a lot of you are going to get a laugh out of because it looks pretty ridiculous, but you want to put them over your head, that way they don't move. You can get sections and clip them and hold them if you want, but I think it's just easier to do this. So get your fishnet stockings and put them over your head. And then pull up the leg so it goes over the other side. See, it looks ridiculous, doesn't it? And make sure this bit here doesn't move, so just tuck it in. Now what you want to do now is get it to a point where your nose isn't heading up towards your eyes and it follows a good pattern. So that way it sort of comes up like this. So just keep playing around with it. If you want the scales to be smaller, just pull on the fishnets and loosen it up. If you want to have larger scales, just pull it tighter like that. It really depends on the size of the scales that you're going for, but try to get it fairly even across the face, or even smaller towards the middle of the face if you can, just like that. Okay, so now you're looking ridiculous, and that's always fun. You can start with the scales. Now if you're going for a mermaid, I would suggest blues and greens, and depending on the colour wig, if you're going to wear a wig as well. I'm choosing this palette that I have made from Inglot, and I'm going all blues, starting with this darkest blue down here. I'm using a Real Techniques brush, and this is their buffing brush, but what you want to get is a brush that's really quite dense and has pretty much a flat top on it. If you have a flat top stippling brush that's a dense brush, that'd be good for this as well. Just something you can use to pat the colour on, because you don't want to rub it back and forth because that can move the fishnet, you just want to dab it. So I'm using the colour 428 by Inglot, and I'm going to be applying that colour around the very outside of the face, across the forehead, down the jawline as well, and then just up into the chin. You can do whatever pattern you want. I'm just sort of going to have it fading from dark to light in the centre. So get some of the colour onto the end of the brush just by sort of dabbing and pressing it into the palette. Like that, getting it onto the end. And then you want to dab it down onto the areas where you want the colour. So I'm just starting from the very outside. And remember to go up into your hairline a little bit as well, particularly if you're not going to be wearing a wig and you're just going to be using your normal hair. So the next colour I'm using is another Inglot colour, and it's the one up here. That's colour number 70, which is a really nice shimmery teal. Now I prefer to use shimmers when I do this look because I think it just makes the effect look a lot better. But another way you can make a contrast is to use a really matte foundation and shimmer eyeshadows. Instead of adding the illuminator to your foundation, just keep it completely matte. That way there's a contrast between the matte background being your foundation and the shimmery scales, and that can really look quite spectacular. But I'm just going all over shimmer because I just want to be a magical mermaid. So getting the colour again, just do the same technique, dabbing it into the palette, getting it on the very tip like that, and what I'm going to be working this colour into is just the outside of that dark blue colour. So following it, bringing it slightly down as well, and I'm going to be using a third lighter shade as the last colour. You can use as many colours as you want in as many patterns as you want. You don't have to do your whole face. You could do maybe just down here or just across your eyes, just across your forehead, whatever you want. This is more just to show you guys the technique, and do with it what you may. And the last colour I'm going to be using just on the really insides here and slightly overlapping the central part of my face is this colour here, which is colour number 05 from Inglot. Again, you know by now just to tap it, get it onto the end of the brush and apply it to the areas that need it. So I'm starting from the very centre of my face. This colour is a really shimmery light blue with a green kind of iridescence to it. So I'm just applying it to the very centre of my face. Now when you get to the eye area, do close your eyes. We're still going to apply some colour on the eyes after this, but that way it just doesn't get in your eye. So okay, now once that's done and you've got all the colour wherever you want to apply it, you take off the stocking. So untuck the leg, and you want to do it in one quick motion. Don't drag it, just pull it straight off the face, like this. So as you can see, if you were going to go out, definitely do down your neck or blend something down into your neck even to apply the colour. That way it doesn't look as stark. But that's the scales, that's what they turn out like. Now, depending on the look that you're going for, you can colour in your eyebrows or you can leave them as is. It really depends if you're going for a more dramatic kind of look. I'm going to just go over them really lightly with that really last colour, the last colour that we used, colour number 5. And I'm using just an angled brush from Real Techniques. So I'm just going to go over them really lightly, just to give them more of a blue tinge, but I don't want them to stand out too much. I just want them to almost blend in. So if you've done the scales over your actual eyelids like this, you really don't have to do that much to the eyes. I'm just going to be applying some of the colours to my eyes just to sort of blend them in a little bit more, and applying some glitter liner. So on the lid I'm going to use the same colour as I did for the eyebrows, which is number 05, and just lightly wash that all over the lid and up into the crease. If you want to darken up your crease, you can use some of the medium colour, which is colour number 70, and just apply that to the outer corner and pull it into the crease a little. And then getting that same colour and just underlying. And then getting the same colour, number 70, on a little detailer brush and just underlining the lower lid. Using the detailer brush again, or a lip brush, I'm just going to apply that same colour, colour number 70, to my lips. Just in the very centre of my lips I'm going to use the dark colour, which is 428. Now the next step for me is to apply some little embellishments. So just from a craft store, I got these from Spotlight a long time ago. Just some scrapbooking stones. So I've got little coloured pearls and little coloured stick-on gemstones like this. Just choose the colours and placement wherever you want to put them, wherever you think they're going to look kind of cool and sparkly, and yeah, just apply them to your face. Then, because I think this look can pull it off, I'm going to curl my eyelashes and put on some really super dramatic, shimmery, sparkly false eyelashes. So first curl your lashes and apply some mascara. I'm just using CoverGirl Lash Blast Fusion. I hate putting on false eyelashes. Practice makes perfect. So whilst you're waiting for the glue to dry, just apply some glittery eyeliner. I'm just using an old MAC one that I have, and just apply that even, you know, in just dots around the eye area and maybe a little bit underneath the lower lash line perhaps as well. So that's the finished mermaid inspired Halloween look. Now, like I said before, you can really make this look whatever you want it to be. So I really just go with it and do whatever you want. Now with this look, you can just leave your own hair depending on the colour of your hair and if you think it goes with the look, or you can apply a wig like this. So I've just put on a blue long curly wig, a little bit mermaid-esque. And that basically just finishes off the look. So you can apply the colours to match your wig. As you can see, I've done blues because I have a blue wig. Even with blues, I think like an Ariel kind of coloured wig, like a red wig, would look really good with this look as well. But yeah, so just make it your own and have fun with it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. If you have any questions at all, or any comments, please feel free to leave them below, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.